Hello, I'm Chris Wolf with GoodGuySwag.com, and I'm here right now with Charlie Coleman from the documentary that just debuted on Netflix in October. It's called Audrie and Daisy, and I don't know if y'all have seen it yet, but for me, it was really life changing to watch this documentary. I think every good guy out there should go and watch it. It documents the lives of two girls, Audrey Potts and Daisy Coleman, two young girls that were 14 and 15 that were sexually assaulted, and Charlie is Daisy's brother. So, Charlie, thanks for joining us. By the way,
No problem. It's a pleasure.
hey, something that I was really just inspired by is the fact that you actually, and of course, the film documents not only just the sexual assault, but also just the bullying that happened, and even just the rejection that the whole family experienced. What was that? What was that like for you? Especially you were involved in sports. You looked like you were really popular in high school, and all of this seemed to kind of flip things around.
It was a really dark time for me. Like I said in the documentary, I came to school on Friday, and I was one of the normal guys. I went on with my normal life that I've been living for however long I was there. And come Monday, after everything happened, it was a complete 180. I had hardly any friends. Sat at lunch by myself. My entire family was ostracized and just outed completely throughout the town. We were definitely the sacrificial lamb, I would say. No one wanted anything to do with us. So went through a lot of lonely times trying to figure out like what had happened and dealing with the betrayal that we had faced. It definitely wasn't a preferable time in our lives.
Yeah. But the thing that was really, and also, like I said, you really inspired me in the fact that then rather just kind of like turning away, you actually decided to make a difference. I feel like this is something that we all need to hear right now. No matter what kind of negativity that you go through in your life, you can actually take it and make a difference in other people's lives. And so you've been doing that. You've been coaching in a baseball league and stuff. Was that the reason why you got involved in doing that?
I wouldn't even say that was a reason why I started doing it. I'm a firm believer in God has a plan for everybody, and He'll guide you in different directions when He feels it's necessary to do so. And so when I did this, I was just home for the summer, and I'd go out to the ball field and work out and hit a little bit off a tee, do some running, some sprints after I worked out and stuff. And some coaches had approached me and asked me if I would like to help out as an assistant for the majority of the little league season. And so I did that, and at the end of the season they have a voting, and they put together what they call an all-star team. So like the best, however many kids from each team, they put together the best team possible throughout the league, and we go and travel and play teams from other counties, states, about anything. And when the voting for that came up, they're like, "You're best fit for this. It's a shoe-in for you. Why don't you do it?" And I said, "All right, let's do it." So for 3 years, I took two teams. I had what was junior level, which was like 13 through 15, and then senior, which was like 15 through 17, and won multiple state and district championships. And it just felt like a calling to me. I didn't ever think of it to do with this, but some of the teaching points I had to give the boys when I would hear some of the locker room talk or something going on, and I could nip it in the butt real quick and give a good teaching point in life for the guys, that something won't happen for them if I can teach them properly, something that won't happen to them that they have to live with the rest of their lives negatively. So I took it wholeheartedly, and I loved what I do, and I look forward to doing it again. I took last summer off to focus on myself and get myself in shape for baseball, and it's been a great journey.
And that's such a great thing too that you're doing. I mean, have you had any of these kids come up to you and say like, you've really changed my life, or maybe changed the way that I thought about certain things yet?
That's the most fulfilling thing. Is I have stayed close with every single one of the boys I've ever coached. For the most part, I have them all on my Snapchat, all my social media. Those boys will, if they have problems, they actually message me.
That's so cool, man. I love that.
And I help talk to these kids. I've gotten a couple of them into scouting, so they have been scouted and seen by good college scouts, where they can have an opportunity to go play junior college ball and better themselves. Because where I come from in Albany, there isn't a high school baseball. That's part of the reason I moved to Maryville, was so I could have an opportunity at baseball. And I understand the struggle with that. So like me being there, I was able to put myself out there and then I could also take these boys that deserve a chance to do something other than work a factory life their entire life. I can give them an opportunity to better themselves in a classroom even, and on a ball field, give them something to look forward to, so they're not just going to go work that 9-to-5 life that is so popular in the small Northwest Missouri towns.
Well, I hope that they end up going into places and positions of influence, because I think you're teaching them a message that the rest of the nation needs to hear. And speaking of which, too, you just mentioned that you're from a small town. So we're here actually in Missouri right now. I'm from a small town in Missouri, and the documentary focuses on sexual assault. A lot of people don't think, or maybe don't realize, that it exists everywhere, especially, or no, I shouldn't say especially, but it exists everywhere, even in small towns. Can you just throw out some of the statistics, just for anyone that's watching that's not familiar with them, with the statistics?
I mean, we went into it just a little bit ago. It may not be as popular in small towns. Like, it may not, when it does happen, everyone knows, because it's such a big thing to happen.
Yeah.
But like in bigger areas, you and I went over, it was like 1 in 6, even young men experience some sort of assault or something that will happen to them throughout their life that will affect them for the rest of their life. And some statistics say 1 in 4, others say 1 in 3 girls will experience some sort in their life, and half of them don't even know that was considered a type of assault, which is really sad. So like, the education point in our nation right now is just absolutely poor. It's pitiful.
And those are reportable statistics. So I mean, in this case, I think that and when you watch the documentary, there's a really heartbreaking part where they find his sister, and she's in the lawn in the middle of Missouri in the wintertime, and her head is actually frozen to the ground in a t-shirt and sweatpants. But you had a mom that worked in the medical field, and so she actually like took her in and knew what to do. But a lot of times these aren't even reported at all. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're very prevalent in small towns. So I think it's something that even in small towns we need to be talking about, sexual assault, because it's happening. Whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, it's happening, and it's affecting everyone.
I agree.
So since we're part of Good Guy Swag, do you have any like words of advice or knowledge or any wisdom to pass on to any young guys that might be watching this right now?
From the get-go of this, my whole motto has been, if I can get one person to speak out, I can get one person to intervene in a situation that they see, or I can save one life, every bit of struggle, pain I've ever gone through with all this will have been completely worth it, because in the end, I'm trying to help other people. And I think that's a standpoint a lot of people in this world should take, is wanting to wholeheartedly help others without considering themselves in this equation. Because I've gotten some of the greatest gratitude towards myself. I've gained respect for myself doing this, knowing that I'm doing the right thing and I'm helping others. And I think everybody else could benefit from that as well. Just whenever you see something, don't be scared to approach it. Don't be scared to help. Even if it's just somebody that said, well, I went through a hard time. And sometimes there are false accusations. And the thing there is, don't question them as a liar. Be a friend to them, because you don't know when they're going to be telling the truth, and the next moment you're at their funeral.
Yeah.
And you're going to live with it the rest of your life thinking, what if I would have helped? Would this have been different? Would this person have a happy family someday? Would they have a successful job? Instead, you're staring at their casket. And I can tell you, it's not going to be worth it. It's so much more worth it to be the friend that someone needs. Give them their 15 minutes. Some that's all they need is 15 minutes of attention.
Yeah.
Give it to them.
That's right, and you're making a difference. You're making a difference in the lives of these young men that you're coaching up to be real men someday. And you're making a difference right now through the documentary Audrie and Daisy. So I'm hoping it gets nominated for an Oscar. There's been some talk about that. So make sure that you go check it out. It's out on Netflix. It just came out on October 20th, 2016. And just, I hope that you're inspired by Charlie as much as I was in watching it. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.